welcome back to Hit Away Hurts. We are back again with another episode, and as you can tell from the title, we just love Instagram algorithm. What can we say?
We got something bipolar to speak about today. So I'd like to call it bipolar.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The owner of that creators account on IG that's supposed to give us the most valuable advice is bipolar. I'm calling it. I'm just calling it, bro. It's literally that simple.
Bro, straight out, I swear it's Mark Zuckerberg giving that guy things to say, bro. I feel bad for that. Whoever that guy that runs it, he's the guy with the glasses, I think. I always see him on the lives. I don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I know which one. Yeah, and he comes on and he's like, Instagram people. It's 8 to 30 hashtags. And then 2 days later, they make a post completely unrelated to whatever that guy said. Guys, only 5 hashtags, nothing different. Don't go over 5. And it's like, bro, come on, man. Like, what do you want us to do at this point, right? And we like at this point, man, we're like slaves to the fucking algorithm. We can't decide what we want anymore because we don't know what we want. It's not like it's our choice anymore, right? It's not like it's our choice because, to be honest, yeah, okay, creators is the owners of Instagram. All right, fair enough. I understand that part. But what I don't understand is why are people able to do other strategies and it work?
Yeah.
You know, is Instagram trying to be misleading? Like, what's the go with that? Why would an application try to self-sabotage themselves? You know what I mean?
Bro, I was reading a post on some guy that did a case study just when they released a few days ago that they were gonna start doing 3 to 5 hashtags.
Yeah. And
I saw the post yesterday, and the guy was looking at some of the big content creators that we have in digital marketing, and they were all using different strategies. So there was some using 30 hashtags, there was some using 15 to 20, some using 25 hashtags, right? And those people were getting like crazy results from it. Like they were getting over 100k reach just on Explore, and on like 50 to 100k reach from hashtags.
It's
so
crazy.
I think like the 3 to 5 can work, but there's also like the ones who are using like more hashtags. They're still working. Like I don't think the algorithm will favor which account that uses the most or least. You know what I mean?
Agreed. And I think for anyone watching that doesn't understand, there's an account called Creators @Creators on Instagram, and that's basically where everyone's getting their source of information. And not long ago, they released something about 20 to 30 hashtags. Then just recently, they said 3 to 5 hashtags strictly. Do not go over 3 to 5. So basically, we're stuck in this predicament where we have to decide what hashtags we want. And one thing I like good about these changes is that everyone has to experiment now, because we talk about experimenting with your account, we talk about trying different things. Now everyone has to try, right? Whether they're going to try what Instagram tells them or they're going to try their own strategy, at least they know now that there's a strategy that they have to follow. And if we take it all the way back to why people use Instagram and that type of thing, Instagram is one of those platforms that is completely different from all other platforms because of its ability to share photos, videos, and it appear in a grid. So you kind of get a mix of a little bit of Twitter, a little bit of Facebook, a little bit of TikTok, all in one, right?
100%.
And when we're talking about Instagram, we're talking about something that is a business as well. People use it to grow their businesses. But Instagram now is coming into the late section. I think now it's coming into the mid to late section, right?
Yeah.
And no matter how many features they release that will get them into that early section, i.e. Reels, IGTV, etc., they're still the late social media platform, in my opinion. And I think the number one indicator of that is that organic reach is a lot harder now, right? Because Instagram has become a platform where you nurture the followers that you get from other platforms. That's not to say that you can't get followers from Instagram. You can, and hashtag reach is important. But if you're versing it against all these other social media platforms, Instagram is really lacking in organic reach. And so now it's become a platform where you redirect other followers from other platforms into that Instagram account, and then you nurture it, and then that's how you grow your following.
But honestly, they're so behind on everything. Like not only the hashtags, they had 2 different video, like not even 2. They have like 5 different video features in their app.
I know.
And because they seen that got out of hand, they decided to combine a normal grid video with what do you call it, with IGTV. So that
That's right.
all became one altogether. So they're
Right.
kind of catching up onto like how people are slowly getting away from the app, because there's just so many different features within that people have to utilize in order to win over the algorithm, because they keep saying you got to use every single feature for the algorithm to push your content out. But like,
Yeah.
we're humans. Like, how
Yeah,
many
exactly.
different type of content can we create in a day to be able to win over the algorithm? You know what I mean?
And we're not here to talk shit about Instagram. We're actually here to provide solutions to the issue,
Yeah.
right? Because everyone went crazy when they released
Mm.
3 to 5 hashtags. People went from posting more hashtags than what they had in their caption
Mm.
to posting less hashtags than what they have in their bio, right? So it's like a whole completely different change that really impacts people's lives, right? Because
Yeah.
you got to think about it. Those with clients like us
Mm.
are going to have to think, wait, should I stick to my strategy? Should I not? So to understand whether you should and what type of strategy you should go through, you have to understand what an algorithm is. And the algorithm is a coding system that defines what should be preferenced over others and what should be shown to some people and what shouldn't, based on a number of different factors, right?
Yeah.
Hashtags, people's interests, time on Instagram, features used, number of different features. Now, we're not going to go into detail about every single feature of the algorithm, but what you have to know is an algorithm is a code of preference. It's a code. It's the back end of Instagram that will determine whether your Instagram post will be shown to people or not, right? In the most basic format.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why hashtags are important for this is because the hashtags guides the algorithm into what niche, what type of people are going to be seeing your content. Now, you can understand this is important because if you're putting the wrong hashtags or if you're not putting the suffice amount, whatever the fuck it is, then you're obviously going to be showing to the wrong people. You're not going to get the reach you want, and it's going to be tragic, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you know which strategy to take? Do you listen to the creators account? I was on Clubhouse and some girl who has like 1 million followers, she's like social media manager, she said I blocked creators on Instagram. She's like, I blocked them, I'm fucking done, right? And I want to hear from you, Mark. How do you think we go about, because I think I'm gonna have differing opinion, how do you think you go about going into this Instagram algorithm, and how often and how much you should change?
Honestly, I'd say, and I'll explain what I'm saying. I'd say do whatever that works for you, right? Because every account is different to your account. So there's people that are going to be using 3 to 5 that will work better for them than the 30 hashtags that initially were mentioned, whereas other people will start using 30 hashtags and that will work for them. And let's go back to creators. Well, when we first started Instagram, I was big on creators. I was there in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., tuning into their lives, because they do like lives with other influencers every night. And I was tuning in, watching that shit. It kind of helped. It gave good insights on what to do, what to not do. But at the same time, you shouldn't be looking at creators as the big thing, right? Yes, they work for Instagram. Yes, they know the insides and outsides, but copy their strategies to an extent. In order for you to grow, in order to see how you can grow, you got to experiment, right? And and I'll give ourselves as an example. Right now with Instagram, I've been experimenting using the 3 to 5 hashtags. Because I want to see what happens. Because before I was using no hashtags on Reels, and they were doing really good. But now with the hashtags, it's kind of gone poorly, right? But you can't really tell the difference between what's going to work and what's not going to work if in a short period of time. So I'm trying this out for a month to see what really is going to happen. So in a month, we'll let you guys know what really happened. But
100%. And I'm glad you agree with my opinion that it's different for everyone. And let me say 3 things you guys don't know about the algorithm, right? Anyone watching, I bet you guys don't know. 1, there's a different algorithm for each format of Instagram. So that includes stories, reels, IGTV, posts, in-feed posts, carousels, different algorithm for each one.
Of course.
Second thing is the algorithm takes into account time. So if you're not posting when your users are active, they're going to be shown to less people. That's the second thing. The third thing is it takes into account how much you're posting as well. If you're posting too much, then your post will be broken up in the feed. If you're posting too little, you likely won't even be shown in the feed, right?
100%.
And so those 3 things are really important. Now, taking all this into account, you can't just know the algorithm, right? Any Instagram hacker that says I hacked the algorithm, I know you don't know the algorithm. You know how the algorithm works for the accounts that you're working on, right?
Yeah.
And the algorithm will perform differently for every single different account, right? So, like you said, there's no proper way. We're not going to sit here and tell you to use 5 to 6. We're not going to sit here and tell you to use 8, 10 to 30. And really, creators shouldn't be telling us what to do as well. They should be encouraging every single account to try to experiment. And let me tell you the problem with experimenting and why people don't do it. Because it's not a short-term thing. It's something you have to do for minimum a month and compare analytics to when you weren't doing it to see whether it's working or whether it's not. And you have to see which analytics you're doing it off, and you have to base it off your content. And that's not to assume that your content is good. What if your content is just shit? There's so many varying factors that come with experimenting that have to be done to understand what works for your account and what works for your algorithm, right?
Yeah.
And so the number one advice I would have for anyone that's not understanding, that's really stressing out because of all these changes, is experiment. Risk losing your followers, risk failing a few times. You have to learn, right? And who knows, maybe you're going to figure out something that other people haven't figured out yet. And so when I'm in Clubhouse rooms and I tell people, because this is what I thought, that, creators is like one of the most educated. They are the ones who understand the back end better than us, blah, blah, blah. Fuck all that. Don't worry about any of that. Yes, use them as a guide, but you have to do it yourself to know. And if you don't, you're going to be following trends nonstop. There's going to be a lack of consistency in your content, and you will never truly understand what an algorithm does to your account.
100%. And let me give an example about the experimenting. I know you know of him. A guy
Coach
named
Mike?
Coach Mike. So that guy, he started a new account about 7 months ago, and for 3 months straight, he had like jack shit followers. So he was experimenting for 3 months. This is what we mean. Like, experimenting is not a short-term thing. It will take months. For him, it came quick. To some people, it take a year. I've seen it with some people. It took a year for them to grow to like 10K followers, right? Till they found a way to do that. But what it is that you got to try different ways. And once you find that way that works for you, you'll continue with that. And let me just say this. That way that you find for yourself, there will come a time when that will stop. So that's why you should never stop experimenting, even when you make it in one aspect of like whatever you're trying.
100%. And Instagram algorithm, I feel like, bro, it's like a lifestyle, man. Like, you have to constantly be learning, constantly be analyzing your statistics. I've seen people who have heaps of followers and just lose engagement out of nowhere, right? And it's a struggle, right? It's a struggle because if you're not experiencing that, like, you're going to be just looking at the analytics, but you're not looking at all the other varying factors. Example, the time you post, the content you're posting, what changed, what are you selling too much? Are you not providing value? So many things to consider in an algorithm. So that is why so much experimentation goes into it before you truly understand. And even when you understand, you won't understand, right? Because it's constantly changing. And I like that in a way, even though I fucking hate it, but I like it, right? Because it keeps you on your toes and it keeps you understanding that you don't have a place unless you try. Those who forget and do their own thing and not try to figure out what their viewers are actually looking at, they will lose, right?
Yeah, 100%.
They will lose the engagement, they will lose the followers, and they'll lose the ability to be favored in the algorithm. But those who are taking the time to really try things that may not work for the first few weeks, or, really get into contact with their consumers and see what they're seeing on their feed and how the algorithm's operating with your hashtag reach, etc., etc. These are the people that will understand it the most, and those are the people that will get Instagram. And when we're comparing Instagram to all other social platforms, I have to say it's one of the most hardest for sure.
Yeah, and like, let's talk about the algorithm, right? Like, that shit changes so much that you can't rely on one thing that you're doing. I'm not sure if this is new or if it's old, but I've realized that when you go on Instagram and you scroll through, and if someone has posted a carousel, you see it for the first time, you see it from the cover, right? Because you didn't have it swiped, you see the cover. But when you see that a second time, so say for example, I saw it one day, now I'm back on another day. I didn't interact with that carousel. I didn't like it, didn't comment. But then I came the next day and I'm scrolling through, I'll see that carousel again, but this time it'll be the second page. And I did some
Yeah.
research on that and I found out that Instagram actually tries to push your content out twice to your followers for them to engage with it.
Mm.
So when you're not getting enough engagement, just know that the algorithm is working in your favor. It's pushing your content out twice. So that means you're doing something wrong with your content. So fix up your content, see if it's not giving enough value to people. That way you'll know what works and what doesn't work. And just like use analytics, see which posts have worked before.
100.
Yeah, and like I was talking to Mark like yesterday. I was going through our last post and seeing which ones performed better and stuff. I remember I told you,
Yeah.
I said this ones were performing better because we were doing something different, and maybe we should try implement that
Try
again.
to do that again.
Yeah. So sometimes you gotta take a step back, see what you were doing before, if that was working, and bring it back and see if it works again.
100. And let's be honest, when
Yeah.
you provide good content, like really, really, really good content, shareable, savable, like engaging content,
Yeah.
and you're not following the algorithm, you still have the chance to pop off, right? You still have a really good chance to pop up. But we're talking about the longevity of your account, right? And let's be honest, carousels are a good example of why you have to understand every algorithm. This goes for all social platforms. Love it when you try their features that are just released. That includes carousels, reels, IGTV, story changes, the new video changes that are coming out. The people that will be encouraging that will get the most reach, because you have to think about it from a business perspective from Instagram, right? They're sitting there and they're saying, all right, we're rolling this out to compete with our competitors, whether it be TikTok, whether it be YouTube, whatever it is. Those who are enforcing that and making that part of our business more relevant, we're going to push forward, because that's going to scare our competitors to show people that we're using it, right? And a good example is, Instagram put Reels on Facebook. Obviously not for us. We get everything 10 years late. If people had that ticked when they released it, basically everyone got like 1,000 views plus straight away on the first day that it released. So it's very truthful that just as much as Instagram is a sharing platform, they love their creators, whatever, they're still a business. They still want to make money. They still want to compete with their competitors. And the only way they can do that is with the help of the creators. The creators are like the fuel for the engine, which is Instagram, right? And so if you're not understanding how to provide different forms of content constantly, not only in the algorithm, like not only is good in the algorithm, but good in the media world, right? You have to be able to provide the same level of information in different formats, right? Whether it be a post, story, LinkedIn post, poll, whatever it is, same form, same content, different form. And when you master this, then you're going to be the first person to jump on the trends. Example, Snapchat. The Snapchat, I don't even know what the fuck they call it now, like a reel story.
Spotlight or something. Spotlight.
Yeah. See, like they're all competing with each other. The people that jumped on spotlights early, man, they popped off, bro.
They made millions, bro.
They made millions. And the incentives that are given as well. Like I'm sure now there's incentives for reels if you start to perform to a certain degree. So it's very, very competitive market, and you have to use that to your advantage.
And bro, honestly, like this is off the record, Instagram and Facebook, but we're finna start using
Facebook Reels.
No, what do you call it? What do you call it? The thing that you can
video.
You know how there's Facebook Reels, but we can't access it. Oh, we're gonna start using VPN.
Oh, we're gonna start using.
So get it a level.
America. Oh, you're gonna start seeing us in America for sure, bro. For sure, we need to get on that, bro. And like, the people that use it early are just so lucky.
And honestly,
smart.
Whenever like these platforms come out with information like this, like they'll say, right now we're utilizing Reels, for example. Start using those, because I've seen creators, bro, like who actually listened, bro. They were on fire, cause they grew their accounts like crazy from like 0 to 100K in like a few weeks, like, cause when the platforms say things like that, when they come out and literally say we're coming out with a new feature, they want you to use that feature, and when you use that feature, they're literally gonna put your shit out there. They're gonna put your stuff in front of other things, so. Because they want people to see that new feature so they can copy that feature. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's what they do. And like, if you're not jumping on the trends, then like you got to see what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like
100. And we touched on this a little bit, but like we see so many Instagram gurus selling their Instagram masterclass, selling their book, selling their this, selling their that. Now, I'd like to give my thoughts on it, and then I'll hear your thoughts on it. Look, I think selling what you're able to do is good, fine. I respect it. But teaching people and giving false promises is not good, right? Sitting there and saying, read this book or do my masterclass and you'll grow to 500K in 12 months is so demeaning to that person, because you're basically saying that whatever the fuck they were gonna do previously is not gonna work. You should do what I'm gonna do, right? And that's not how it's meant to be. I like the Instagram people that sit there and say, this is what's working. This is what you're doing. This is how you can customize it, right? This is how you could do what you're doing, but just customize it a little bit, right? Because at the end of the day, if we're all doing the same thing, the algorithm is going to find it too hard to choose, right? The algorithm is going to suffer. If we're all posting the same carousel, same reels, same formats and everything, it's not like all of us are going to thrive. There are going to be people who are going to fail. But if we're all doing different shit that's based on our own study of our analytics and our stats, then everyone will be able to eat, right? Everyone will be able to eat at the table. And so I think Instagram masterclasses and all that shit, they're misleading in a way.
Honestly, there's some that are like that, but then there's some that, like, they don't tell you to do this, do that, do this, do that exact thing. So they're like, say, for example, choose a niche, and then you should be making this type of content for that niche, right? They won't tell you, like, go left. Like, say, for example, in a driving test, they won't tell you go straight, turn your indicator, turn left, turn right, slow down, this, that. They will give you steps, but like not this, not like, not, you know what I mean? Like, not directly. Yes,
you can customize to yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like not all of them. Of course, there are some Instagram things that you could buy and they'll teach you stuff. But in my opinion, the number one teaching you could do is self-teaching, right? Not only do you develop a path for yourself that's different from all other creators, but you're learning the most because you're doing it, right? Like I said, Instagram and social media, you could read 1 million books on them, but until you do it, you won't know what you're talking about, right? And so use them, but use them with caution, right?
100%.
And like at the end of the day, they're a business as well. The people selling those types of things, right? They're trying to sell the information that they learn. Some of them will be genuine, some of them will be doing cash grabs. And so the ability to decipher between that is really, really important. Now, talking about releasing new things, right? Instagram Reels, IGTV, whatever the fuck it is, right? They're obviously trying to compete with TikTok and stuff. Where do you see social media platforms now in terms of ranking? And then obviously it's different, right? Because the ranking can be different based on paid ads. The ranking could be different based on organic. The ranking could be different based on actual accessibility to everyone, right? What do you think?
It depends. So it could be different for each business, but let's say, like,
For sure.
let's say just like whatever, right? General. I'd say with what's happening with Facebook and Instagram right now, they're trying to, it's like they're on a lost journey trying to find themselves. You know, when people
literally, bro, literally.
So I'd say the top one would be, I think Pinterest, is that how you say it? Pinterest. Yeah. That one, like, not a lot of people are on it, honestly. Even us, like, we need to step like into that game.
100%.
I think next one is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Bro, LinkedIn is on fire. Like, that's what I'm
crazy.
Yeah. But when it comes to like those video kind of apps and shit like that, look, I was high on TikTok at the start of the year, but once they came out with their ads and stuff, that kind of changed the whole platform and the algorithm. So they stopped pushing your content out to the FYP just so they can have you pay for ads so they can push your content out. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So they have so I'd put TikTok there, but TikTok still has its advantages and disadvantages. I'd go then I'd go Instagram and then I'll go Instagram then Facebook. But yeah, that's smart.
I think that's pretty good. What I do have to say is that the way social media platforms will all end up like Instagram, right? It's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Everything has to go to paid. The more platforms there are, the more paid ads have to come out to compete.
Yeah, they'll all be like that. Yeah.
They're all going to be like that. So TikTok is literally in that middle ground between where Instagram is and where Facebook is, like basically he's basically following in his dad's footsteps, right?
Yeah.
And the ability now that TikTok is not pushing your videos out to the FYP and only to your followers is such a hard hit, such a
Mm.
hard hit. It means you have to, absolutely have to niche down. Absolutely. It used to be pretty forgiving. I'll be honest. There were some people who went viral that how the fuck did they do it? But it's like now you have to niche down. Now is when you have to study the TikTok algorithm. But then again, TikTok is still very early. It's just that the rate of the growth that it's going at is why it's trying to transform into paid ads more. It's because of how much it's grown since it started, right?
Yeah.
And that's not to say Instagram isn't growing. Instagram has 4 billion active users daily, and 500 million of those are people that post daily as well.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fucking eyes. But yeah, so basically when we come down to the advice that we give to people, especially when it comes to the Instagram algorithm, not talking about any other algorithm, is experiment, experiment, experiment. Don't listen to no guru, don't listen to no creators account, don't listen to us.
100%.
Try it. Try what you want to do. But the number one thing that is consistent in every strategy, two things actually. Time, you have to give time to see the results. They won't come in a day, they won't come in 2 days, won't come in even 3 days, they might come in a month, maybe. And the second thing is consistency.
Yeah.
Don't change your strategy in the middle of your fucking experiment. You won't learn shit, right?
100%.
And yeah, that's basically the message I wanted to get across. Do you have anything else that you wanted to say?
I'd say also be consistent, as in like consistent with your posting. So don't be posting like once a week and expecting everything to go your way. No, that's not how it works. You gotta like, you gotta try. If it's 2 posts a day, if it's 1 post a day, maybe it's, if you post 3 times a week, that will work for you. We don't know. So you gotta try that out, see whatever works, and then just keep maintaining that over time, and then you'll literally see growth. That's
100%. And don't post and ghost. Like that's what Mark is saying. Don't fucking post and ghost.
And let me just say one last thing for TikTok. It's as much as they have kind of like messed it up for everyone, it's still not quality over quantity.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so because there's times I see quality videos not performing well, and then I see a shitty video that has over 3 million views. So don't fall for people telling you TikTok is now all about quality. Nah, just do what you're doing.
Keep executing.
Yeah, and like give people what they want, and then you'll see results. And that's it.
100%. And thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Hit It Where It Hurts, live every single night at 8:30. Guys, if you have any questions about the Instagram algorithm, anything, any help you need, just reach into our DMs. Our DMs are always open for anyone that needs help. I've just posted the link in Facebook and Twitch, and on Instagram. If you guys want, just DM me. If you want a form where you could sign up, we shout out your business, whether it be your Instagram page, whatever page. Thank you all so much for watching. We love you all. Thanks for coming to Hit It Where It Hurts. We're like